Hey guys, let's talk about when should you cluster a table. Considerations for clustering a table. First of all, do not cluster a table just because you can or just because there's a feature called clustering. The table must be huge in size, ideally multiple terabytes of data. Majority of the queries are selective and majority of your queries sort the data. Now, when I say majority of the queries, I'm talking on a higher level. It means you've got to have a thorough understanding of your analytical workloads or engineering workloads, uh, which are happening in your cloud data warehouse, which is Snowflake. So you need to analyze each of those queries. You need to have a thorough understanding of your pipelines. That's when you can tell this table is in need of clustering. Also, the ratio of your queries to DML operations must be high. Now, what I'm trying to say is the ratio of your queries, meaning the pipelines or your SQL aggregation jobs that fetch data from the table, which is in question, to your inserts, updates, and delete operations. Now, this ratio must be high, meaning you must have less frequent DML operations running in this table. Now, this is not a very usual scenario. Let's say you have a transactions table that gets updated every X minutes or hours, but you still want to cluster this table. This is very usual. What you must do in that case as a solutions architect or a data engineer is considering or find a way to group all of your DML operations together and run them less frequently in batches. So this is just a high level thought process when it comes to having a properly clustered table. So that's the theory behind the reasons as to why you must cluster a table. Now let's have a look at how to cluster a table or how to select proper clustering keys when it comes to clustering the table. Now, as we've seen before, or I mentioned before, the clustering key can be one or multiple columns. Ideally, if you do choose to go for multiple columns, you must limit it to three. Just make sure you don't select 5 or 6 columns put together to cluster the table on. That could be a little catastrophic in terms of performance and cloud billing as well. Columns with low and high cardinality are not good candidates for clustering keys at all and must be avoided. Now, we've seen what cardinality means. Let's say you have a table and you select a timestamp value or a gender column. Now, timestamp, has values up until millisecond. So the chances are every row has a new value in your timestamp. This will result in extremely high cardinality. Okay, so timestamp is not a good candidate for clustering keys. Also, gender column. Let's say the same table has gender column, and ideally, how many genders can one have? Can a table have? It has to be maximum 3 or 4, right? So just make sure you do not go for columns with high or low. You have to find the right balance. Ideally, date comes in handy. Date is a perfect candidate. Date columns, as we've seen in the line item table before, you have shipping date, you have receipt date, invoice date, so on and so forth. Now these date columns are perfect when it comes to clustering keys, especially if the clustering key is multiple columns. If you do decide to go for multiple columns, now the order in which these columns are specified in your create table or alter table statement is extremely important. As a thumb rule, columns must be specified from low to high cardinality. Now to this point, let's go back to a Snowflake account. First of all, I want to switch to sysadmin. Just make sure you don't use the account admin role. Let me just take all of these queries. I want to use the schema e-commerce DB, e-commerce live, the one we've been dealing with. Now, please do not execute the statement. Now, let's say you have analyzed all your workloads and you have come to a conclusion that you want to recluster this table line item using 2 keys now. This table is already clustered using the supply key or sub key, as we've seen in the past, right? So let's actually hover over this table. This table is already clustered. Now you decide you want to use 2. What you might do is understand the cardinality of both these columns. Ideally, they should be, I'm guessing supply key has less or lower cardinality compared to ship date. So this is how I would want to recluster this table by altering it. If you do want to play around, just make sure you do create a table. Just create a clone of this table, which is line item. Make sure you don't end up reclustering the table line item. So if you create a table, create table, I'm just going to call it line item underscore clone. And all you have to do is say clone the table that you want to clone. Okay, it's pretty simple. Now, when you clone a table, your clustering keys are actually retained. So if you hover over the table that we just created, line item underscore clone, you can see the cluster by. Now you can go ahead, play around with this table, try to change the clustering keys. This is the syntax. You can say alter table, line item underscore clone, cluster by, multiple columns. So that's pretty much it when it comes to design considerations, when it comes to clustering keys. Next up, we'll be looking at query history, result caching, and an important feature called table optimization. So I'll see you guys there. Thanks for watching.